Thank you for joining us for the series of UCSC reimbursement training presented by the Baskin School of Engineering Business Office. This video will include step-by-step instructions on how to complete the UCSC Travel Advance Request form. On the screen, you see the Financial Affairs website and the section for travel, which includes many instructions and information regarding travel. I want to show you how to get to that website. Open your browser. In a new tab, type financial.ucsc.edu. You'll go to the Financial Affairs main page, and you want to go to Processes and Services tab, and you want to go down to Travel. And click that, and that'll open up the page for you to get more information, including the forms. So the Travel Advance Request form is used to request cash advances and also to request a trip number for direct payment to cover allowable travel expenses. For trip numbers for direct payment, please allow time for review, signatures, and processing. Once submitted to FAST, the trip number is generally provided within 24 hours. For cash advance payments, the cash advance will not be processed before 30 days of travel. Also allow at least 2 weeks for processing mailing for reimbursements once submitted to FAST. You are required to file a post-travel expense form after your trip is completed to close out the TAR. You have 45 days to file a post-travel expense form, but it's recommended that you do so within 10 days of returning from your trip. So let's look at this page and some options we have here. So we have a key tips for travelers, so advice on most common travel topics, and also a travel guide. So these are great resources for you to find out more specifics about travel. I'm not going to go through each one, but you're welcome to open them up and read through them. And if you have any questions, you can ask the business office, or you can reach out to travelhelp@ucsc.edu. So before you travel, it's recommended that you get departmental approval for your trip. Make sure your payment information is up to date. That's the Payee Setup 204 form. Decide on how you're going to pay for your trip. Book your travel. You can do that through Connexus or other means. And here's some important foreign travel and shipment information. And then again, you've got some more key tips for UCSC travelers. So I suggest you read through those to get more familiar with what you need to do and what's allowable for you on your travel. The next section is a section on while you travel. There's a link on allowable expenses. It reminds you do want to have original itemized receipts. So make sure you get those. Here's some more information about receipts and about footing bill for others. And then at the bottom, there's the travel guide, which is the same as the link at the top. The meals and incidental expense rates. This is where you can find out the maximum allowable expense rates. There's a currency converter for you to be able to convert currency from foreign currency to US dollars, which you'll need to do and show on your forms. There is the information about the mileage rate, which changes each year. And here is where you can get help for any questions that you have. travelhelp@ucsc.edu. Then the last thing is, after you travel, you'll need to fill out the post-travel expense form. And as mentioned, you want to do that shortly after you return. There's information about the big 3 forms, which is, as we mentioned, the first thing you want to have is a payee setup 204 form so you can actually be in the system to receive reimbursement payments. Post-travel advance request, if you do a travel advance request, it's not required. You can do just a post-travel expense form when you come back from your trip. But if you do the travel advance request, you do need to do post-travel expense form. So that's always required, the post-travel expense form. And there's more information there on details. So, and then there's rates and information for your rental car and personal automobile usage. So you want to review that also. And then the post-travel form, which we'll go over in a separate video instruction. So we're going to do the travel advance form. So I'm going to show you how to download that form. So you want to click on it, on the travel advance request form icon, and a pop-up comes up and lets you know how to download the form and open it up. So we're going to do that together. We're going to close that pop-up. We're going to click on that form again, and it comes up with the travel advance request form for you to download. So you want to go to the download down arrow, download the form. I'm going to download the form to my desktop, but you can download it wherever it works best for you, as long as you can find the file. And then you're going to save it. Once you've downloaded the file, you want to find the file and you want to right-click on the file. Don't left-click and open it, but do a right-click so a menu of items comes up. Move down to the Open With item, and you need to open this with Adobe Acrobat Reader. So move to Adobe Acrobat Reader and choose that. And then the form will open up for you to be able to fill it in. So the first section is your general information that needs to be filled in. So we're going to click in there, and then it's going to let you know that you can only fill this form in and print it. It won't save the information for you. You can, of course, save it as a PDF file, but you won't be able to edit that PDF file. So if you want to fill this in, you want to do it in one sitting and print it, and you can PDF it as a saved copy. Okay, we're going to close that, and we're going to type in your name, last name, first name, middle initial if you want, your email, your mail stop, and if you want the advance to go to an address, you can fill in your address. Then you need to choose what type of traveler you are. We're going to choose UC employee. Then a menu comes up for you to select which campus you're from. So choose the campus you're from. Then you need to choose your destination. Where are you going to? Then you need to choose the purpose of your travel. You need to choose when you're departing. And when you're returning. Then you need to put in your phone number. And what division and department And then we're going to scroll down to Section 2. And in Section 2 is where you estimate your travel expenses for budget approval. And as you can see, it's requesting that you submit your post-travel within 10 days of return. So you want to estimate every expense that you possibly might have so you can round up. Let's say you have airfare. And let's say you want to pay for a conference. And let's also say you have lodging. And you're going to have some meals. Your meals are allowable up to a certain amount, so you want to look to see what that is. Currently, it's $62 a day. Other transportation might be Uber, Lyft. So let's put some money in there. Miscellaneous could be parking. In comments, you want to list what miscellaneous would include. Okay, so you also have a place for private car and rental car. Then payment 3 is actually, Section 3 is the payments that will actually be paid out on behalf of the traveler. So Section 2 is only an estimate of what your expenses are going to be for the travel. And Section 3 is where you actually fill in what you want money advanced to you for. So the first thing we're going to do is select the type of expense. We are going to ask for a conference fee registration to be paid. And you can choose the vendor. So vendors' names could be whoever needs the conference registration fee. So I'm going to put in conference vendors, what you want to put. So you want to put their name in. That conference vendor needs to be in the cruise by system if you want that conference vendor to be paid directly. If they're not in the system, then you have to go through procurement to be able to have them paid directly. If you prefer that you pay for the conference and you're going to attach a receipt that you already paid for the conference, then you're going to put your name in as the vendor. So depending on which it is, if you pay in advance, you're the vendor. If you want the vendor to be paid directly for the conference, you put in the vendor's name. So we're going to put in conference vendor, and we want to select pay the vendor direct. Pay by date can be whatever you want. I put as soon as possible. And then the conference registration fees, which should match what you have in your estimated above. Then the next thing you want, next payment you want, is you want a payment for airfare. And airfare can, again, be either a vendor like Connexus, who you will get a trip number for, and then you'll book your airline tickets through Connexus with the trip number to pay for it. So you could have Connexus here, or if you have already paid for your airfare and you're going to attach a receipt showing proof of payment, then you're going to put your name in as the person that is going to get reimbursed for the airfare. So in this instance, you're going to attach a receipt showing that you paid for airfare, and that airfare receipt is going to show you as the traveler. It's going to show your destination, your arrival, your departure, your return, and what kind of class airfare you purchased, and proof of payment. So this instance is going to be a pre-trip reimbursement. So you are going to be reimbursed for the airfare. And pay by date can be as soon as possible. And then type in your airfare amount that you paid that you're going to get reimbursed. So we're going to do one more type of expense. And that is, let's say you want a cash advance. So a cash advance would be you as a vendor. And it would be cash advance selection. And the pay date, again, even if we put as soon as possible, will not be paid to you before 30 days of travel. So your amount can be maybe including your transportation, your parking, your meals. You can add that together. And any other incidentals. So we'll put in $200 as the cash advance. And then you have a comment section if you want to add any additional information for us to review the request for the cash advance or any of the travel advance request. In section 4, you're going to need to put your funding in. So the fund number is 5 numbers. Then you're going to put in an org number. The org number is 6 numbers. Account number will be generally, well, you can look up account codes if you want, or generally that'd be filled in for you once you submit it. Activity code is optional also. And then you're going to put in the full amount, which is under the total estimated budget. You can put in the full amount here, or you can just put in the addition of these 3 advances that you're asking for. Either one will work. So let's just put in $650 for now. All right, and then we're going to go down to authorizations. Notice that travel insurance is an option, and so you want to go to risk services to find out more about travel insurance. And it's also required for business trips out of state or to foreign countries. So you want to find out more about that by clicking on that link. So the traveler signature is required. So you're going to sign it. It's mainly required for cash advance, and it's requested by our department that you sign it unless it's a person that is coming from out of the university to the university. That might be difficult to sign, have them sign this travel advance request. Unless it's a cash advance, then it will need to be signed by the traveler. Okay, and then the date. All right, and then you need to have your Tier 1 signature also provided. Tier 1 signature is going to be whoever is in charge of this funding. They need to sign approval for you to be able to spend the funds for this trip. Then you're going to submit this form. You're going to print it and sign it and have the Tier 1 person sign it. And you're going to submit it to the School of Engineering Business Office. We're currently located in BE 345. And from there, we'll review it. You need to attach supporting documentation. So for the trip, the conference, you want to attach the conference information, a flyer, agenda, or email that states there is this conference and it's happening on these days. You want to attach your receipts for any purchases that you're going to be reimbursed for right now, such as your airfare. And you want to attach information to any vendor that's going to be paid, such as the conference information. Sometimes you also want to do this for lodging or airfare if you do Connexus. So you want to print all that and attach it to this travel advance request and submit it to our business office for review. Once we review it, we'll have the Tier 2 person sign it, and then it will be submitted to TARS for processing. I just realized at the bottom you want to put in your name as the preparer also, and your email, so we know who to contact if we have any questions. So you want to submit that to get your Tier 2 signature to us, along with all the supporting documentation, and then we will submit it to TARS, and we'll CC you, letting you know that it got submitted. They will reply to you with a trip number for any items that you need to submit to the vendor, the trip number, for them to be able to get paid. I think that's it, and thank you very much.